One of the showstoppers here in Detroit is what Akio Toyoda himself described as the worst kept secret in the industry. It's the 2020 Toyota Supra. No Toyota sports car launch would be complete without Akio Toyoda himself. He presented the Supra to thousands of global media at this year's Detroit Auto Show. He really has a great connection with this Supra and the Supra of the past. Built in partnership with BMW, this new Supra is the first one to hit North American pavement in 21 years, and I say it's about time. This fifth generation is the first to be offered only in a two-seat configuration. With a long hood and wide stance, the new Supra really has a modern look, yet with a vintage throwback of the DNA of the 1967 Toyota 2000 GT. The rear window tapers toward the center to an arching tail, emphasizing the width of the rear end. Available are 19-inch wheels and Brembo brakes. The front features a new 6 LED cluster housing all lights, including signals, while the rear features a distinctive ring shape lighting up the display. Everything in the cabin has been optimized for driver focus and is readily at hand. The leather seats are very supportive and heated, and there is adequate luggage room for a weekend getaway for two in the cargo area. Like all Supras, this is a front-engine, rear-drive layout, and under the hood, my favorite engine that has won numerous world awards, the 3-liter inline-6 twin-scroll turbo from BMW. This version putting out 335 horsepower and 365 pound-feet of torque. The power is put to the pavement through an 8-speed automatic transmission and will accelerate this two-seater to 60 in 4.1 seconds. The center of gravity is placed as low as possible, and the weight distribution is 50-50. The Supra is also available with an adaptive suspension with a normal and sport function, and also an active differential that can apply 0 to 100% power to either wheel. The Supra has been an iconic nameplate in the enthusiast circles for decades, and I, for one, have been lobbying Toyota to bring it back since the end of the 4th generation. Well, it seems that Toyota has listened to all of our voices, and as the saying goes, if you build it, they'll come. Well, now they've built it, and hopefully the Supra will sell well so we can enjoy it for many more generations.
Now, Brian, you know and I know, but maybe some of our viewers don't know, that this is a co-production with BMW, and there are some BMW influences, especially on the inside.
If you're familiar with BMW interiors, it's not a far-fetched from being a BMW.
Toyota didn't have an inline 6-cylinder available to use. They don't make them anymore, so they turned to BMW. And the great thing is, you know this, Brian, because you had a 335 years ago.
Plus, I had a Supra as well.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I did. An 87 Supra. So to me, this is the best of all worlds.
Yeah, and some people say, you know, it's not a real Supra because it doesn't have a Toyota engine in it. But I got to say, if you're going to go to a manufacturer and grab an inline 6 with lots of power, BMW is it.
That's an award-winning engine.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we don't know the Canadian price. Now, I asked at dinner, is this going to be a working man's car or a hard working man's car? And they said,
a hard working man's car.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, you got to look at the BMW Z4 that shares components with this car and sort of fall in line with that. I think it's going to be over 60 probably, I'm guessing.
I'd say maybe even closer to 70.
I did find out they're thinking about 1,000 of these for Canada per year.
And they are coming in April in 2019.
That's not far away.
Yep.
And it's good that they have a showbiz car like this.
And you know, what a great launch with Akio Toyoda himself. And we'll just leave it with this last clip with him at the end.
Yeah, he's into it. We're into it.
Today, the legends has returned. Supra is back. Better than ever. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I grew up upstate New York, and behind my house, there was a family that had an FJ40. You'd hop in the car and pretend to be Indiana Jones. That had like a little piece of my imagination as a kid. And designing a car is probably the most complicated thing to design besides a plane. Plus, you know, like a plane, you're filling it with people. And, you know, it's precious cargo. We try to really look for new, innovative ways to envision the experience of, you know, owning a Toyota in the future. Being a designer, you're making something that's not just satisfying something inside you. You're trying to satisfy something in someone else, to light that spark the same way you feel when you're drawing it. Before pencil touches pad, I really want to ruminate. I want to solve some problems in my mind before I do it. Otherwise, they're just happy accidents. You don't want happy accidents. You want to have these reasoned but emotional expressions of what you're trying to create. I talk about designers as being futurists, but you know, being a futurist, you have to be an observer. I'm always looking for like little case studies and things that you pick up these little nuances. A lot of times those can be like your North Star as to how the project can proceed and the things that you can do to improve, not just the functionality, but you know, people's lives. We did a concept car last year, the Concept I, which represented a vision for 2030 and how we wanted to integrate autonomous driving with artificial intelligence and kind of all the possibilities it opened. We saw this idea of hiding the screen behind the paint. We introduced this idea of a haptic seat. The car actually would tap you, whether it's an emergency, tap you hard, make you look, or a gentle reminder. There's something that you need to pay attention to. Technology is going to, I think, revolutionize the way that customers perceive and interact with their car. And like I said, it's the relationship, truly a relationship. That's what's on the horizon.